What's good? What's good? What's good? It is going to be a boring day, I think. It'll be a boring day. I mean, you could have news that hits because it's such a light news day. You could have news that hits that just explodes across everywhere. I don't think so, though. I think it's going to be a boring day. Unless you're Campbell's. If you're Campbell's, you've got problems. And what's the problem that they're having? They had allegedly, they had a VP of technology come out and say that they've got food for poor people. Highly processed food, meat that comes out of a 3D printer. And I just sat there like, wow. I mean, it's like wow, but not like wow at the same time. You kind of realize it. So I'm kind of like, yeah, it is what it is, right? But that could actually take up the news of the day. That really, really could. Right now, if you notice behind me, the light that we have going on is amber. We're just trending in the middle. We're just kind of going like this. I mean, it kind of is what it is, right? The reason why I say so is because there's no easy way to how the market is going to move. There's nothing big going on or anything else like that. Let me just say welcome to everybody over on Facebook. So when you actually look at this, you're kind of sitting back and you're saying to yourself, okay, what are the particular, what's going to move, what has happened in the day? And we get to JP Morgan's, move crypto execs face account closures amid regulatory battle. That's a headline. But when you read deeper, you see JP Morgan closed the business account of Houston Morgan, head of marketing at crypto platform Shapeshift on November 21st, following Jack Mallers, he's the CEO of Strike, Jack Mallers' closure. And you sit there and you kind of go, what's going on, JP Morgan? Why are you closing people's accounts? Wasn't there an executive order that, this whole, debanking of people was supposed to be a no-no? What are you doing? And I don't know. I'm waiting for JP Morgan to actually come out and say something. That's literally what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for them to actually come out and say, hey, this is what happened. This is why it happened. Normal course of business. We see crazy transactions, blah, blah, blah. But I want you to stop and think about this. If they would have come out and they said, well, we see strange transactions, wouldn't you want to call your customer? We see high volume or high value moves happening all over the place. It's erratic. It's not your money. It's not your value. I should be able to do what I want with my bank account, which, if you really think about it, is the actual problem for banking right now. It's not just the debanking of people that have accounts. It's the reason behind the debanking of people that had accounts. So when I look at, what seems to be the reason, right? I'm hoping that there are other reasons, because the only thing that it says to me is that, well, we debanked them because we didn't like what they were doing with their assets. Don't you know why that's one of the reasons why crypto was created? People don't like banks. They don't like banks having that kind of control. So skip you. Don't you think you're gonna do certain things that are gonna add to your downfall? I think this is something that can add to its downfall. Oh, you don't want us to earn, interest from stablecoins or rewards from stablecoins because only banks should be able to do that. That's bad. You want to debank people that just do weird things with their bank accounts. Mind your business. I mean, those are the two big things. Oh, let's not forget the fees, right? You want to charge me for not having enough money in my bank account. What the heck is that? Oh, well, it costs us money to hold your money. Okay. So I'll take my money and I'll just be bankless, do crypto. And when I actually need to cut a check, I'll go to the place that I have to pay the bill to and I'll pay them directly or whatever. I'll go through that inconvenience because a bank wants to charge me a ridiculous sum of money. And here's the kicker. You want to know who they're collecting that money from? They're not collecting that money from the people who have money. They're not collecting that money from wealthy people. They're collecting it from the very people that don't need to have those additional fees. If you've got X amount of money in your bank account, you don't pay a single fee. You don't pay a single fee. Shouldn't those people be the ones paying the fees and not the people that have to get up and work every day? That has always bothered me. Always. Why would you do that? Oh, because it's easier. Yeah. If you're not keeping enough money in our bank, you're not good enough for our bank is what that message says. And then you wonder why so many little banks are popping up saying, "Oh, you just bank with us, not a problem." Yeah. Those are three really big reasons. Three really big reasons why people do not like banks. And I'm praying for JP Morgan that they have a better reason, because these are two debanking problems that I'm hoping for the best. JP Morgan Chase has filed a regulatory proposal for a leverage product allowing investors to bet on Bitcoin's future price via BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust ETF. So if things shoot up, you can make a lot of money. Are you witnessing? I'm sitting back and I'm looking at this and I'm going, that is a direct product of crypto. Jamie Dimon, where are you, buddy? Where are you? Like, seriously, what are you doing? I thought your bank wasn't going to do stuff like this. My, how JP Morgan has changed. Just saying, JP Morgan has changed hugely. The Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, launched the CEO Innovation Council on, basically yesterday, to shape crypto regulation with industry leaders. They're asking big-time CEOs, and I want you to think about this. They're not asking little guys like me, hey, join our council. That's not what they're doing. That's not what they're doing. They're looking for big-time CEOs to hop on. I would say good afternoon, but I don't know where you are, but good day to you. Don't forget to invest in yourself. Sergey Nazarov, Chainlink co-founder Sergey Nazarov, stated DeFi is 30% toward mainstream adoption and could reach 50% with regulatory clarity. Yeah, we're not all the way there yet. Regulatory clarity, not there yet. Not there yet. And I have to remind people that some of these statements are specific to the United States. He's talking about the United States. He's talking about the United States, right? I think DeFi is indeed growing. I don't know that the number on a global scale is that high, right? Could be. Let's imagine that he's talking about the whole world on a global level. That would be interesting. The answer, good day. What did I miss? That JP Morgan is leveraging on BTC? Yes. Yeah. I'll revisit that topic real quick, just to read you what it's doing. JP Morgan Chase has filed a regulatory proposal for a leverage product allowing investors to bet on Bitcoin's future price via BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust ETF. The structured note offers uncapped returns if Bitcoin declines by late 2026, but surges by 2028. You're from South Africa. Oh my God. Thank you for letting me know you invest in yourself. I love South Africa. I was in South Africa for a company called Tullow Oil doing consulting. I absolutely love South Africa. It was one of the best trips of my life. Eye-opening. So thank you and welcome. Now, where are we at? Ethereum's dominance is shaking. Yeah, on November 25th, yesterday, Klarna launched Klarna USD. I told you all about Klarna USD yesterday. Stablecoin, right? And my whole thing is, how many stablecoins are there going to be? And what are they going to be used for? Who's going to use them? Where are they going to be used? Are they going to be used outside their normal network? Because it's normally just banks that are creating stablecoins, right? Specific issuers that are creating stablecoins. Are they going to blossom to take in more? Now you got me thinking I got to go back to South Africa. You want to hear something funny? It was a little more than 10 years ago, and it was around, I want to say 3 weeks before Christmas that I flew out, and I got back home before Christmas, but it was around this time of year. It's kind of crazy. Fidelity top macro director calls crypto crash a good thing. Jurian Timmer, I'm just reading my notes. Jurian Timmer of Fidelity suggested the recent crash of speculative assets like Bitcoin and meme stocks is beneficial for markets by reducing irrational exuberance. Interesting. That's oof. That's an interesting perspective. It's a good thing. Irrational exuberance about billions of dollars being spent on building out infrastructure for the future movement or rails for value. It's not even future. It's here and now. These companies, institutions are moving billions in value via crypto all day, every day. That's the direction that it's moving in. And we have irrational exuberance. Interesting. I'm going to see if I can find more stuff that this guy has said and see if it checks out, if he stays on brand with these kinds of thoughts, or if it's just something sensational to get, Fidelity in the news. No, I don't pay attention to Fidelity. They're a huge company too. I still don't pay attention to Fidelity. The Korea Financial Intelligence Unit, FIU, is set to impose sanctions on major digital asset exchanges, Corebit, GoPax, BitThumb, and and Coin1 for violating anti-money laundering, AML, and Know Your Customer regulations, KYC, Know Your Customer. At this point in time, for a crypto company to be failing at compliance for AML and KYC is ridiculous in my book. It's ridiculous. That's your one flipping job. You know what I mean? You're in this business, and if you're going to comply with anything, it is those two regulations. Know Your Customer, AML. That's your whole business. If you get caught not compliant to those two things, to those of the biggest regulations, you deserve not to be in business, because that is your business. Because that basically says, well, you're not doing your job, so we're going to shut you down. You got one job. And these aren't small companies. Corebit, GoPax, BitThumb, and Coin1. Back when we were allowed to, I used to have a BitThumb account. Technically, I still have a BitThumb account. I'm just not allowed to use it because I'm in the United States. Hopefully that changes. See, that's one of the things that we need clarity on. Also, it's probably not going to change until they figure out how they can tax everything. Yeah. I think the biggest issue that countries are going to have going forward is going to be that what do you do with over-the-counter transactions? Wallet to wallet, direct wallet to wallet transactions. I walk into my corner bodega, get my bacon, egg, and cheese, salt, pepper on a roll, boost a little coffee on the side. How does taxing work? Because it's boop, boop. That's all it is. So how do you do that? Top of the morning, Max Salas. And thank you for letting me know that you invested in yourself. It's interesting. Something else, Robinhood's secret weapon. You want to know what it is? I actually hate this. It's predictive markets. They're making more money now on predictive markets, and I'm going to say what it is, betting, more than they do on crypto. No, I do not like predictive markets at all. I love the name. I love how they rebranded gambling by using this. It's a predictive market. It's a predictive market. It's gambling. And when it comes to investing, I don't like the idea of people gambling. I like the idea of people doing their own research, knowing their entries and exits, and absolutely investing deliberately. To me, predictive markets are gambling. Yeah, it's structured a little bit differently, but you're betting. To me, you're just betting. And I don't abide by that. You want to bet on a sports game? Sure. But you want to bet on your future? You want to bet on your future value? Yeesh. A lot of people will say, well, aren't they calling it what it is, right? Like investing in stocks, bonds, options, crypto, real estate, businesses, isn't it all gambling? To the extreme sense of the term, sure. But if you're doing your own research and things like that, is it really gambling? Because then it comes down to execution that's within your control, or within somebody's control that you've gained trust, that you've got trust in because they've done da 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 da. Nothing in life is guaranteed. Your next breath isn't guaranteed. Are you going to call that gambling? Predictive markets to me are straight up gambling. And if I have the money to spend on a predictive market, I have money to spend on investing. Unless I actually want to gamble. There are people that were saying, oh, we're gambling on what words so-and-so is going to say during their speech. And you had somebody come out and say, oh, those are the list of words, and sat there and read the words. So that a whole bunch of people would get paid. That's doing something out of spite, right? Out of luck, those people hit it because somebody decided, oh, really? Okay, I'm going to say these words. And I just sat there and I'm like, yeah, there are probably a lot of people out there that don't like the idea of predictive markets. I mean, they're betting on everything. How many eyelashes does this person have? It's kind of ridiculous. Kevin Hassett, a former Coinbase advisor with over $1 million in coin stock, has a 56% nomination probability. Predictive markets. And I'm sitting here and I'm going, he's one of the worst people that I would want. Right? Because he's a yes man. In my humble opinion, he's done nothing more than a yes man. I don't want a yes man leading the SEC. That's not, no. I really don't. I want somebody who's going to take their job seriously. Yes, you have a boss that you need to listen to, but your ultimate boss, the United States people. I need you to listen to what we're saying and take that into account. Not be directed by somebody who has spent their life on bankrupted companies. Just saying. A new bill introduced by U.S. Representative Warren Davidson, Republican out of Ohio, proposes that allowing taxpayers to pay federal taxes in Bitcoin, which would fund a strategic Bitcoin reserve, would be a good thing. I don't know if I would be mad about that. I mean, I would have to read the bill, but I don't know if I would be mad about that. Right? I mean, because then they would collect the Bitcoin and it would sit there, and I'm kind of like, Bitcoin is something that I don't want to give up. I would, if you were going to say you can pay in digital assets, okay, bet. But I have no plans on giving up my Bitcoin. That's not the plan. Not at all. Just saying. Just putting that out there for you. That's not my plan. That might be somebody else's plan, but I have no plan on kicking up my Bitcoin. I want to use other things to pay bills. I mean, other things that, just can be mined, like Ethereum or something. That's just me. That's just me. Ooh. Trying to keep the numbers in front of me. So there's a lot of news that's out there. Cybersecurity firm Watchtower discovered over 80,000 leaked files containing sensitive data from code formatting tools like JSON Formatter and Code Beautify. I want you to understand what that means. That means that you have a whole bunch of people that are using free online services to solve their problems, so to help them solve their problems, and they're not realizing that they're putting that information out there in the public view. And what really gets me is the level of stupidity of that kind of person. They should be immediately fired. Immediately. And those companies, why are you allowing people to do that? Why? I'm just saying. Get better developers. Get better developers. See that thing right there? Vibe code fixer? Yeah, because me and my team are often brought in because people are vibe coding stuff because they don't know what the heck they're doing. Yeah, it's funny as hell. It really is. Funny as hell. Japan's Financial Services Agency reclassified crypto assets under the Financial Instruments and Exchange Act, FIEA, following a final report from its expert working group. Okay, the move impacts 13 million domestic crypto accounts holding over 5 trillion yen in deposits, aiming to strengthen investor protection against rising fraud. That's a global problem. That is a global problem. MicroStrategy confirmed its asset to debt collateral ratio will stay at 2x even if Bitcoin drops to $25,000. What that says is MicroStrategy is not worried. They're like, no, we're fine. That's literally what they're saying. We're fine. So with all this rah-rah about MicroStrategy is like, I don't know what you're talking about. We're fine. That's pretty bold. That's pretty freaking bold. And not for nothing, I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for it. The Deutsche Börse announced the integration of all Unity's EURAU stablecoin into its digital asset strategy, marking a pivotal step in bridging traditional finance and blockchain. The Deutsche Börse? That Deutsche Börse. Sorry. German's not my first language. My bad. I hate, destroying names though. But that actually is a big deal. That's a big deal. On Tuesday, ARK Invest significantly increased its stake in Alphabet, the parent company of Google, by acquiring 174,293 shares across 4 ETFs. The move coincided with Alphabet's valuation approaching at $4 trillion amid speculation that Meta might adopt Google's AI chips. I heard a statement by Jensen Huang saying that, NVIDIA's chips can run any LLM and blah, 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 blah. We're a generation ahead. I have one thing to say about that. That's great. But for my use case, I don't need you to run all of the LLMs out there. I need to run the ones that I need to run, period. So although you might be a little bit more flexible, if this one's cheaper, almost as fast, doesn't even have to be just as fast, almost as fast, and I can do it on my own, I'm not worried about that. Something else I want people to think about when it comes to AI. I think OpenAI, and I'm saying it for the record, I think OpenAI's model is severely flawed. They're projected to have 8% of their user base paying for their service in the coming years. And I'm sitting here and I'm going, why would I ever? All of the new computers being shipped are going to be AI ready or just ship with AI. Oh, just download your favorite model right here. You're going to start to see computers actually say, we can handle models up to this size. Here are some suggested models. Mind you, also NVIDIA is selling servers. Dell are selling servers. HP are selling servers that are ready for AI. That means that you can see institutions also running AI internally. How does that model work out for OpenAI? You just saw the other day where Gemini released their newest model and then Anthropic just released Claude, and they're going like this. Oh, ours is better, ours is better, ours is better, ours is better. You're not going to be on an infinite upgrade loop the way you are on other technologies. I built this solution for these models. They work perfectly, done. The only way that I'm going to upgrade this is if there's significant improvement in either output, cost avoidance, right? Ease of maintenance, or upgrades to our model, meaning what we're going to be offering. If I'm not doing that, I'm not touching anything. So it's set it and forget it. So I wonder about what are people doing when it comes to, oh, we're going to be changing our models. We think people are going to change their models all the time. They're not. They're not. Maybe once a year they'll put it on the upgrade path, or maybe twice, once a year, once every X number of years. Because once it does what I need it to do, I just need to maintain the equipment that it's running on. I don't need to actually muck around with the software unless we find a bug. But literally, it's most likely set it and forget it. Because I'm not on a model, think ChatGPT, that's constantly changing, constantly being touched and tweaked. If I run a model locally, it's going to stay the way I want it. My prompts work perfectly with it. Everything's good. Moving on. I think there are certain realities to how AI is implemented that are going to absolutely wreak havoc on the OpenAI / Anthropic business model. Remember, Google and Grok, right? Gemini and Grok are owned by companies that make their money elsewhere. So they're not as reliant on, LLM money. Just a thought. That's just me. Anyway, you know what we should do? That's right. We should go over the numbers. So let me flip screens. All right, let me get my notes out of the way, guys. Start down here. Dow futures implied open 83 points up. S&P implied open 22.5 points up. NASDAQ futures 117.25 points up. Oil up 0.03 cents. It's at $57.98 right now. The U.S. 10-year up 0.002. We've got green boxes all over the place. Green boxes all over the place. We'll see maybe we'll change the lights over to green, but I have to look to see what crypto's doing. Because to me, this is it's a slow day. Nothing's going to happen today. Earnings, we have Deere. We have anybody else that I actually pay attention to on this list? I would be interested in U.S. Gold Corp, Imperial Petroleum, Children's Place because it's retail. Yeah, I don't think there's anybody here that I actually care about. Yeah, there's nothing going on. U.S. numbers, we got PPI yesterday. We're expecting initial jobless claims. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm looking at the numbers as if they were on a regular basis now, and they're still not. Fear and greed index is at 15, down from 20. People are still scared. But again, I will get to that chart in a moment. DeFi Llama, we're at $117.325 billion in total value locked. So just up just a tad from yesterday when I reported. I think it was like 116 or something. So let's look at Bitcoin. Look at this. Oh my Lord. Look at that. Look at that. That's interesting. And people are probably sitting there going, why is it interesting? It's interesting because I could probably draw a line from here all the way out. That could wind up being our trend line. We'll see. I want to give it a little bit longer before I call it our trend line. I don't know about that. It seems too steep to me. Like if I'm looking at these three right here, that would seem too steep to me. So I'm going to give it a little bit more. But it is interesting. It is interesting. And if you look at Bitcoin, we're still trading between these two points. Between my yellow band over here or my orange band over here and my pink band over here. We're kind of in, a consolidation space. The reason why there's no band actually representing the space is because we shot through it. We went from here and shot through to over here and then established this band. That's what happened. That's why I'm saying this one is interesting to me, because it would make sense that we might be doing the same thing now. We hit the orange band over here, right? Briefly, but we were still there. And then we started going up. And if that consistency of going up, going like this, kind of that stair step climb thing, if we continue to do that, well, that would kind of mimic what happened in the past. That's why I save these bands. I want to see if history repeats itself. I also want to use those bands because I know that those are numbers that were established that we're going to have to pay attention to going forward. Just saying. Looking at the board, yeah, I think I still see nothing but sales. People are probably thinking, why do you think everything's on sale? Look at these numbers. 87,000 for Bitcoin, 29,000 for ETH. XRP is at $2.17. BNB is at 858. BCH is down. Cardano is almost at 40 cents. Are you kidding me? You know how much money can be made with a lot of these coins if they just moved up a little bit? If they just moved up a little bit, we'd be making big money. Yeah. Now, you know why I said I'm not a fan of predictive markets, because I can come here and I can see, oh, if I get into XLM, I might be able to make some money. If I get into XMR, I might be able to make some money. Hype, Link, you know how much I love Link. It's a part of the connective tissue. So Link, BTC, BCH, ETH, BNB, Sol, ADA, Sol if you're into that kind of thing, XLM, LTC, even though LTC's ETFs have not done well, LTC is still very widely used. I've got much respect for Litecoin. People look at me always cross-eyed when I talk about Litecoin. Do some research on it. Avalanche, Aave with their new app that looks like a banking app to introduce more people into DeFi. Yeah, things are about to look up in a massive fashion. In a massive fashion. Looking at the board like this, yeah, Ethereum is down big, 12.44% for the year. Now, do I think that Bitcoin's going to end down for the year? I don't think so. Do I think Ethereum will? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think there's still money to be made within the next couple of months. And then I'll go on hold. But remember, I'm also looking for businesses to buy or businesses to take over, because nobody has anybody to hand over their businesses to. Some of these kids, the reason why you're seeing this wealth transfer, these kids don't want the businesses, so sell it. Problem is, there's nobody there to buy it. I can help. Depending on the business, I'm happy to have a conversation. Happy to have the conversation. But that's where we are right now. Anyway, everybody, this is Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. Yes, I will be back tonight for the Crypto Overflow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There will be a lot to discuss. I hope you can tune in. I know some of you might be sleeping, like my friend over in South Africa. Thank you for tuning in, by the way. Love it. Absolutely love it. This is Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your patience. And absolutely, thank you for your trust. Me and my team will fight for that every day. Everybody have